Have you ever played a game where you slowly question yourself of whether or not is this game worth my time at all, or worth any investment of playing any further anymore? Well, I got a game for you. It's called Epic 7. For those who doesn't know, Epic 7 is a competitive turn-based game, I guess you could say, but rather I wouldn't say it's a turn-based, but rather stat-based, because stat is really important to the game, and how you can achieve it is through gears. This video isn't really about going over what is Epic 7, but rather addressing the main issue of the game that has been persistence for over the years it has been released, to be honest, and I made some of my points on some JPEG, I guess you could say, just to prove my point, and I guess writing out the issues. So I guess you can take it with a grain of salt, whatever, up to you guys. Keep in mind, I play a lot of other grinding games, and here is, all the grinding games I play. And yes, I play all those, and I have other games that I also play on emulators, so it's not really an issue. But however, when it comes to E7, it's one of the game where you can make a lot of progression in getting resources, only to lose a lot of it from investing, I guess you could say, to certain gears or whatever without getting anything in return. This game has gotten a couple of revamp update, or rather improvement update to the game, where they supposedly increase the game flow and also make it so it's less grindy, but in reality it's not really that. It's more like just sprinkle some salt on it and say, yeah, that's good enough. Well, rather salt in your wound and say, yeah, the pain is only temporary, and you know what, it'll get better, when they're not really addressing, or rather really fixing the big issues of it. Let's get to the meat and bone of the game, rather that not heroes, and yes, I know heroes is important in the game, and that there's a lot of power creep where you can just beat almost every content with that one hero, but those heroes can get countered by other heroes, so they mostly fell on the flop. And the reason for this is because gears is what makes the other hero that can overshadow power creep. So yeah, there are a lot of units that can counter other units, and yes, they exist. And for the biggest power creep like Arbiter Vildred, there is also a counter to him with a 3-star now, Glenn, which is a special change unit that has a greater attack, and he calls extinction, and he gets an extra turn after buffing himself with that greater attack. So you can't really say that there's no counter to the power creep, except for Bellin, and she's overpowered as hell. Gotta admit, no souls, that's basically not playing the game at this point. Enough of the power creep situation. It's more of it can be ignored, because sometimes the dev has a big brain move of accidentally destroying the existence or deny these power creeps actual powers. I could bring up example of Singelica, and again with special change Glenn. I remember how before his special change he had such ability, but again the dev doesn't want a 3-star to outshine any 5-star, so that totally won't be fun. And I totally did not make my teams with a lot of 3-star units that I promote to 6 stars, and not planning on making a video on them and climbing arena with it. Yup, no one ever gonna do that, not even me. Anyway, gears, which is a literal flip of a coin of seeing who is the best in this game, as in whoever takes the first turn, do their whole setup, gets to win automatically, in a sense. Unless you're playing with counters, which you just sit there and do nothing the whole game, I guess you could say, and have the highest res or something. Try not to get to 15% by them, I guess. Yeah, that can work out totally. I'm not suffering from it. And you win the game automatically. Either they manage to kill you because they're so fast, or rather you got lucky with your counter sets percentage and proc 100% out of 30 or whatever at that point. Yeah, I don't know. It just works, I guess you could say. One of the most important thing is enhancing the gears for starters, but for some reason it costs so much to re-gear and to enchant them. And what's even worse is that if somehow you get a bad RNG on it, the best option for you to do is to extract them, which is to get a gem for the set that you can use to specifically craft the set, but you don't get any refund of resources of EXP, so you can invest into other gears. Nah, you just throw that away at that point. And what's even worse is that you could essentially, the most efficient way is to make it into an EXP bomb, feed to another gear, but it costs more than actually enhancing a gear itself. So you lose more gold, and not only that, gold is used for everything to the point where you literally chug down gold on a daily basis. As you can see, for some reason, it's still the same amount of gold for both enchanting and to gear swap. And in this image, I'm not even trying to specifically swap to a specific set. I'm just randomly, seeing, why it got so much. I'm baffled. I'm not building anything. It's just, me messing around. The dev has addressed this gold issue, you could say, by reducing the amount of gold costs for the world, I guess you could say. And I think the total gold deduction went down was like 20%. I don't know, because to me, I don't think lowering anything, cost of gold will actually affect anything, considering there's so much things that we have to do as a player, as in you have to enchant both your artifacts and you have to enchant your gears. There's not enough resource going around to it, so you don't have the runes to do so. And you also want to raise your fodder to promote your next units and stuff, but you gotta have to use your penguin. But oh wait, you can't use your penguin because you're selling them to get gold. Wow, look at that. And not only that, in adventure mode you can grind for penguins, but let's be honest, no one really grind for penguins as they grow them. But even when they do grow them, they sell them off for gold. And despite you have to hunt to get the most gold, and adventure doesn't give you a lot of gold. This game already has a linear graph of the better you do, the more progress you make in a game, as in you get better heroes and stuff. The line only goes up for progress in this game, but the only thing that's holding it back, or rather making you drive off the road, is these gears. And I'm okay with it being randomized and RNG, I guess you could say. I mean, randomized is not a good term for it. I shouldn't call that, but it's all RNG on an RNG on an RNG. That's 3 RNG on something. That's at that point, that's not even linear graph. You just go. You just drive off the road. Drive off the cliff. No, that's fine. Not only that, it's even worse when they give you really good gears in Abyss, which is totally fun, by the way, and not super gimmick, requiring me to redo all my gears, spend several years redoing all those. gears of grinding and totally ignore other content just to do Abyss. Yeah, totally no. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, leaving Abyss off, there is a lot of complaints for how it's unreasonably unfair and super gimmick, to be honest. So much so is that it's. I'm not sure if it's actually a challenge or is this just another PvP content, just so not a PvE. I'm not even sure, to be honest, of how much gimmick it's based off, and it hurts a lot. Some of the equipment drops from Abyss is also good, with especially the gears, but at the same time, you still have to roll on it, man, for substats, and considering the whole thing is RNG, you could be really unlucky with how you roll, so those gears become useless, to be honest, and it just defeats the purpose of the reward. I honestly wish these gears would just have at least a set end stat for us to actually use. I mean, seriously, I also want to trash some of the Abyss gear I have because they don't really have good substats at all. And I really mean, like, one of them have 5 speed and it has 33 health with, like, I guess the other one has like 6 or 8 critical chance and like 8 effectiveness. I mean, I also don't know how useful is this on any heroes. I mean, with the meta of being fast, I think it'll be really good if they can actually include a gear that has a set end stat that all player can reach, because we also need a gear for us to fall back on when one of our gears has gone bad because of RNG. I mean, what else can we do? We just have to trash it, and we can't really EXP bomb our gears, I guess you could say, because it costs a lot of gold, and unless you super grind hunt on a daily basis and ignore adventure mode to get callus and other resources and just focus on getting gold the whole time, you can enchant your equipment, but again, you still have to flip a coin with 3 more layers of RNG of getting the right gears with the right substat and getting a right roll on those gears substats with end stats. I'm glad they added Reforge in one of the updates that make it better for us to have a better gear, but all the standard gears are mostly from crafting and hunt stuff, and it still costs a lot of gold to craft these stuff. And especially what's even worse is that you have to optimize Orbis, or rather the Sanctuary, where you use your Breath of Orbis to upgrade stations, I guess you could say, to get resources or craft resources, I guess you can see what I'm saying. But we don't have all of it, and you have to not invest into penguins or the farm, I guess you could say, to get more gold, and you also not invest into the mission thing to not get more gold or whatever, or the coins. It's just a lot of management for a game that's really grinding or really demanding, to be honest. So it's not fun. Again, you need a lot of gold for doing all kinds of other things, and there's a lot of ways to make gold, but again, you drink it down so much like water, and you waste so much of it just to not really waste, but rather make it as an investment, only for it to fail in a lot of ways. It would have been better if they actually lower the cost of the gears, enchantment costs, to the 50,000 instead of like the 500,000. I mean, this is a competitive game, and re-equipping and redoing all your gears shouldn't really cost that much because again, you're supposed to always improve, and gears are also another way to improve a character. So, I mean, unless unless the game is creating, a problem and they're trying to sell us a solution, I guess monetizations, I guess you could say, which I didn't plan on bringing it up because I think this game is good actually. All the animations and all that kind of stuff. And I had hope for the game with all these updated promises, all the fix. I mean, there was a lot of dramas in Epic 7 beforehand with how the whole game is, even during the year it was released in 2018. And there was a drama, I think like a month or so ago. I don't know. There was some review bomb, but I don't think it should be shut down because of this issues, or rather, trying to monetize these issues with as a problem and then monetize it with a solution instead to fix the issues. That's just me. I mean, I play a lot of games, and this is one of the games where I actually like to see work out. And I played many games before this that had the same thing where the whole game is actually really good and really unique, and it does stand out on its own. But because of how much they're trying to monetize the game, it got shut down. And at this point, I'm mostly seeing if I outlast this game of it being shut down, or before I leave the game. And I'll tell you now, I'm here to see it through the end. I don't think that I'm gonna be the one leaving the game. I'm pretty sure it's gonna shut down before I even can leave the game. I guess you could say, watch it as it burn, as it might say. Moving on, beside gear is the pet system, which is supposed to be a crutch, I guess you could say, in the game to help make your grinding smooth. But at the same time, it's not that smooth. It's a really bumpy ride where you get thrown out of the car, to be honest, or the ride, or whatever you're riding at. But it throws you out of it, runs you over, and then you're really heavily injured, and then it goes like, we can't treat you because you're heavily injured, and you need more heavily injuries to be treated. That's not a good analogy, but that's what pet are. They're supposed to make it, they're like the seatbelt of the car to make sure don't fly off, but it doesn't do that. It's like you gotta pay to have a seatbelt, and in the car the seatbelt is not even tight. You gotta pay more money to make sure that your seatbelt is tucked on and tight, and to make sure that you actually you also have to pay for a roof on the car so you don't fly off of it. So yeah, that's my analogy, I guess. That was stupid as hell. Yeah, adopting a pet, or getting a resource that's supposed to help you on getting more resource, requiring a bunch of resources to get that resource, so you could get more resource, but you can't get more resource because you have to invest more into the resource. But that resource has a chance to fail because of upgrading it and whatnot. And it's not good. It's not a good system, especially with how terrible the percentage is when you upgrade a pet. You have to, because you literally spend so much resource on it that you literally halt all the I kid you not, other progression of other things that you want to do. You need catalyst, well, screw that. Well, you need a lot of gold, so go back to hunting, slave. Really, you have to hunt like all the time to get the gold, to get more pet, which is a resource. To upgrade the resource, you need more resource to feed into each other. Not only that, for each time you do it, when you upgrade a pet, the chance of you upgrading them to the next level and stuff is even smaller, over a small success rate. So you put so much resource into it. It's honestly unreal how much resource you have to put into it in order to, a resource that's supposed to help you grind even better. At that point, like, am I playing the game or the game playing me? Like, honestly, no, really. Seriously, man, like, how bad do you want to sell us the gold pack, man? How much do you want us to waste Skystone on those gold pack, man? Create a problem so you can sell the solution. That works, I guess. It costs. I mean, it costs like 100,000, I guess you could say, to get a 5 stack of it, but I don't think pets should even cost that much because they're supposed to help you grind, or rather make the grind easier. But again, it costs so much, and not only that, again, you put more resource into it so you can get better grind, but you put way too much in resource, and you hold all of the progression in the game. That's to it, so it doesn't really help. I think it would be better if they just reduce it to something like 50,000 or something, just like how gear costs and stuff. I mean, again, they might be trying to sell us. It's also force us to buy go backs or something, or maybe it's for the well, I don't know. Again, it costs so much, and I'm a free to play this game. I spent like money on it like once or twice, and that's mostly for the Mola goes backs. So don't get me started on that just yet. That's somewhere in this video. It's not yet in here. But again, it monetizes a lot of the things, to be honest, for us to get gold and make our grinding easier. Wait, is this Diablo Immortal at this point, or something like that? Or Diablo Immortal copy from this? I don't know, but shouldn't cost that much. Oh, this update also, again, with the disappointment of the pet, skill slot especially in the new update is one of the main issue and the main complaint for me is that they only have 3 skill slots still available after reaching 5-star, which is the maximum rank you can get in the game. And why is that a thing? This is supposed to be a crutch for free-to-play players or all players in general. Even the veteran players supposed to use these as a crutch to help us make the grind easier. But why 3 skills still? And if you're gonna improve this on the next update, just give us a free skill so we can choose what kind of skill. I don't want to go through 20 mil. Probably it costs like 15 mil to 20 mil or even more, depending on how many pet you're working on, just to upgrade a single pet or even upgrade 2 pets. I'm pretty sure it costs 20 mil just to upgrade 1 pet because, again, you have to get them to 100% to work. Unless you want to roll an RNG dice in this whole entire game, which is already full of RNG. There's so much RNG that, I'm not sure if I'm playing the game or the game is playing me at this point. So, it was like, where's the dungeon master at this point? I'm just, it's just like playing D&D, except for, I don't roll the dice. Only the dungeon master with a loaded dice can roll. And he says it's fair, but, it's really small. It just hurts, man. Like, why? I play this game on my phone, on the go, and sometimes I even, when we have certain event buffs and all that stuff, where they, increase drop rates and gold for hunt and stuff, I take full advantage of that and just leave my computer on, with it on an emulator, and to be honest, you might as well just make the pet runs for 50 or 100 at that point. You can't say that, you can't argue and say that that's a little bit excessive, but no, that's not excessive. Is that your grinding is so much demanding of a player to grind so much that, you might as well just grind a person to dust. because of how much you need to grind this game, that you might as well just give us that, to be honest, by default. Just upgrade that, because again, if you're not going to improve on other stuff, then then well, what's the point? I mean, I literally leave my computer on with Epic 7 in the background in the middle of the night, and there's tons of flashing light of my characters just do all sorts of like action and stuff, and I'll leave that on for a whole day for the event when I'm grinding. And I just wish you can make pets better. You didn't make the pet better, you just made it, you just gave it a little bit of sprinkles on it and said, yeah, that's better. And I'm not sure if there's any actual future updates to the pet system again, but from the missions, it seems that maximum pet rank you can get is 5-star, and we already reached that with this update. So I'm pretty sure, this is, the pet is not looking good right now. He's dying right now. The system is already dead when it's supposed to be a crunch for players of all type, and now we're just walking on hands at this point for our broken legs over these pets. So yeah, I honestly don't know what else to say about them besides how bad this update really was to actually improving the game with pets that's supposed to help us. Next topic is the buff events. Why are they appearing like almost once a month? I don't keep track of them, of how long they come out and stuff, but I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure they come in like once a month, but the game is so grinding that again, I don't have to repeat. I'm repeating myself, but that's how the game is. Repeating how much we have to do the same thing over and over again. At this point, it's insanity. It's not fun. Again, I think that the event buff should be kind of end of the week buff or something like that. To be honest, this also would improve the flow of the gameplay, and it's not. I don't know like how people think this might be imbalanced and stuff, and it lasts for one day, but one day that's it, and nothing more, and how much deprived of actual resource for this game. One day is not enough. I mean, I play Princess Connect, whatever. But there is an issue of how much mana, which is how you upgrade a character. There is an issue of how much you can get mana in the game, and mana is really important to upgrading characters and actually upgrading their gears to their loadouts to rank up and all that stuff. But you can just upgrade the character rank. I mean, I might be butchering how the system works, but the main point is how that they need a lot of mana to actually upgrade a character, their skills specifically, to match whatever level they are, and you need a lot of mana just to upgrade that. And you know what they do? They know that there is an issue of that, and they literally would give you a ×2 bonus for mana gain whenever you complete any map, or actually any game play of any sort, besides the PvP content, mostly any PvE content and stuff. You get bonus mana points, so you can easily upgrade your characters. And they might not do this all the time, but they space them out where it lasts for maybe, I don't know, like 3 weeks or something like that, and then it would stop for maybe 2 days, and then they'll restart and all that stuff. Again, it might look bad on paper, but I guess how you want to monetize your goddamn game or something like that. But that's what keeps players playing the game. At this point, it's more of a quality over your quantity of trying to monetize the game. So yeah, that's a thing. Not only that, out of curiosity, what do you have to lose in anything? You know, whenever you give us a buff event, I don't think you lose much. I think you gain more, especially. I mean, the player base. I mean, you keep player happy with how much resource they can actually get instead of depriving them of it. I mean, you might not want to give them too much with the KZUI collab things that that got her something like 10, 100, trillion, million gold and other resources to play with. It gets just be a live collab, I guess. VTuber for the game, and you get infinite resource, I guess. That works. Another thing is the catalyst. I mean, I know that somewhere in the Epic 7 YouTube videos there was a dev talk how something along the line how like they don't want us to grind adventure mode for catalyst. I think somewhere in there. And so they introduced an AP shop, but we're still grinding adventure mode for Catalyst, so I'm not sure how that worked out. I mean, some people can come and correct me and stuff, but I watched like most of those dev talks because I think it was important, but after some time and stuff, after realizing how stupid, the things had gone, and they said they would fix the problem, they haven't really fix it, or rather they just sprinkle some sprinkles on the cake, rather a cardboard cake, and said it's done, or actual cake, but however there's like a hole at the bottom of the thing. It's a hollow cake. How about that? Make it easier. It's a hollow cake, so I'm not sure if you'll be full just eating a hollow cake instead of actual whole cake. Just saying. I think somewhere in the dev talk about Catalyst, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is on video some time ago where the devs talk about how they don't want player to grind adventure mode. This is like that's why they decided to take out hell world difficulty mode, excuse me, and they change it to the unwritten record. That it's basically they just recycle the world difficulty to unwritten record, and saying that they don't want players to grind for Catalyst in adventure mode, but you're still doing that. I mean, they introduced an AP shop, but it doesn't change the fact that you're still grinding for Catalyst. So insert that was a lie here, and it wouldn't be an issue except for I don't know. You don't look at this dirty run, and no regular Catalyst, which not complaining about that. Getting an epic one, but I feel like it's fair game to say I got epic because I got a pet to do it. But a regular Catalyst that everyone needs first thing before in Awakening, and also actually the first few levels of skills up for your skills to improve the heroes. Nice drop, I guess.
Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain. I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
And another thing is that event, like, why is there so few of resources they can actually get? an event. I think there should be more because usually event it means you can grind for the resource, but there's very resources for you to actually grind for it, which is we just quickly get the event over with. We just clear shop and then go away. I guess go back to grinding hunt, which is not bad, but I feel like there should be more resource that we should get from the event. Not only that, we had a Christmas event where we can where we can grind for resource to craft craft resources on a timer to get more resources, which was good, but also dumb that you have to wait 12 hours or more just to get that resources. Like, why is that a thing? I mean, I really wish you just give us, an actual gacha resource rolling thing, where, like how in Fate Grand Order, where you can, get a lot of resources with the event currency, all that stuff. I understand that, you don't want players to really stand in the event for too long, but, wasting a lot of, time on events and stuff, but again, it's really conflicting how, you don't get a lot of resource from event compared to other games, and not only that, you updates feel the thing where it's good, but I feel like there should be more. I understand that, in the event where you open the Molagora thing in all the events, so you can get extra Molagora for your skills and stuff, but I would say that, that's good and all, especially, you can also get extra gold, but we chug those gold down like water, so the goblin is, again, a small sprinkle on a really hollow cake. And not only that, we still have a shortage of Molangoras, to be honest. I mean, the Sanctuary update for the farm is supposed to improve that by, giving us a free Molagora, and we don't have this waste stigma on growing them, which is good. So now I can, put all of my stigma to upgrading my 3-star characters. That's not a special change, just for, I think that, their ability is good and whatnot, in my opinion, I guess you could say. But still, 1 Molagora out of the whole week, so that's 1 extra Molagora if you minus the event. And not only that, you did update, the weekly login to include Molagora, but this is a really competitive, I guess you could say, game, to the point where you can't really test out a lot of characters, and a lot of people just go with the meta, you could say, characters in the game first thing. So, as much as I want to build a full Armin team just to, have them all encounter set, or maybe a full Purgus team or something like that, like, copying one of those NPC teams and, give them really funny sets and stuff to mess with people in Arena. I can't do that because, there's so much more Agora that you can have, and, you need to actually upgrade 4-stars and 5-star characters, so yeah. And, going more tangent on the farm thing, I mean, Sanctuary, you're forced to optimize with resources, with the Breath of Orbis, to be honest. Just give us the Breath of Orbis to max out the whole Sanctuary. I mean, it feels like you're trying to have us, the Sanctuary is literally a safe place for us, a safe haven for us to get resources, get the gears, get the good stuff and all that stuff. But it's actually the opposite when you just give us a limited amount, and there's a lot of God of created in Sanctuary, in E7 about Sanctuary on, like, like if you want to get the most gold and all that stuff, and you want to ignore crafting and get less gears and all that stuff, then you ignore the blacksmith or something like that upgrade, and you just go straight for the farm so you could get all those gold from penguins, sacrificing your penguins. but then like your reforge will cost, I don't know, somewhat higher to like maybe 1 mil or something. I don't know, but I don't know what's the cost if you don't upgrade a blacksmith. Decrease in cost for the smith, but you know, and plus crafting equipment is also a big thing, especially when you need gears, but it still costs a lot. I mean, I understand the update also make it so that you get an epic gear for each like what 15 20 stacks of gears that you crafted, but that's an extra gear, which is again small sprinkles on the cake, the big hollow cake there with nothing in, almost nothing inside of it. So it's for looks. It's not really a solution, in my opinion. It is a solution, but it's a small one, not really that helpful, I guess you could say. It's small. You could do bigger and better. The next thing is how resources that we can get. To be honest, the Hall of Trial doesn't need to be too. It doesn't need a 2-week kind of thing going on. It could just be 1 week. I mean, that literally could be one of the main way for us to get gold. Again, to help us with the issue a little bit, but it's locked out for 2 weeks, and not only that, the most important part of Hall of Trials is the exclusive artifacts that acts as, I would call, a buff to the heroes, or semi-buffs, I guess, to make the character better. Yeah, it's good, especially with the artifacts too that's in there. I think some of the artifacts are actually really good as as a basic, but of course there's always better artifacts out there compared to what's in there. But if you included like limited artifacts there too, like you can only buy 1-for-1 account and all that stuff too, that would actually a really good place for even new players to get limited artifacts that they can't get or whatever and stuff. And so give them a helping hand and all that stuff too. And even some veteran players that miss out, not getting the thing, and they have to spend a lot of powders and a lot of rotation cycles just to get or really max out the actual artifact, the limit artifact. But Hall of Trials has a lot of potential, but it's locked down to this limitation. I mean, you improve by listen to one of the many suggestions of just get rid of the practice, which should have been done some time ago. But it took some time for you to do that. But yeah, the auto tower is also a good way to get resources too. And if you make it once, if you made it available as in like a weekly kind of thing, like the Hall of Trials, then you would have literally the best way to get the most resources in the game. Like not even like abundance of resources. We can't do anything out of it, but really like resources that we can actually use. And not only that, we're not limited to grinding for 2 weeks, or actually we literally have to wait for 2 weeks just to actually get resources. And I'm pretty sure that's where most players actually get the resources to enchant their actual gear, because auto tower actually has all the good rune drops, and also give you leaf it, which is refill my energy and all that stuff, and again, like a lot of gold, transit stone for us to do, like literally like those 2 things, Hall of Trials and also auto tower is a safe haven, which it's locked off for waiting for 2 weeks. So halt all progression of the game with you grinding, hunt, and all that stuff. And again, this game has a lot of grinding in it, and in anything, if you want to dedicate to anything in the game or do anything, you have to halt all progression in a thing, in one thing, just to do another thing. And it really sucks. I'm not playing the game. The game is playing me, to be honest. So yeah, that's how it is. Another thing with the whole trial is that another issue, besides waiting for a long time, is especially with the currency, they're so low. Not only that, a lot of players, I'm pretty sure, prioritize exclusive artifact over the actual artifact itself for the whole trial to get more damage, to get more higher score. Because, you know, they're desperate to, I mean, certain players might be desperate to actually do the freaking, to get the artifact, exclusive artifact on a hero, just to, you know, help them, you know, play PvE or PvP better. And, you know, the artifact for the Hall of Trials is only limited to the Hall of Trials. It doesn't do anything else outside of it, which, you know, I'm not complaining, but only has one use. And at this point, you're choosing between an artifact for one thing and one thing only versus the other resources, which can be used all over every other content. So you tell me, how is that actually, you know, balanced or even fair in any way, saying that me choosing exclusive artifact first thing out of the actual, you know, hero or the trial artifact. So yeah, it's not a good trade. What's more is, especially with the RNG and the exclusive artifact, there's two set of RNG in it. Is that the stats that you get for it, as people were trying to get the maximum stat for it, with, you know, some of them like an extra maximum of 10 speed or 14 or 12 critical chance or something like that for it. And then you have the actual, you know, skill moves that are rather skill sets, skill slots, I guess you could say. They had improved skill 1, skill 2, skill 3, all that stuff. You're playing with 2 RNG of, you know, getting the highest stat and also getting the actual right slot for the ability to improve on. So yeah, it's not looking good with how much RNG in this game, man. It sucks. Abyss, pain and suffering. I mean, I would say it's just pure suffering, and the reward is, I would say, meh. Not most of them are good. Some of them are actually decent, but then like, you know, with gears and stuff. But then at the end of the day, you know, you roll in the gears of you roll into the gears, and if the RNG sucks, then that's too bad. It just sucks. You can't do anything about it. You know, you want to trash it. I'm not sure you need trash in those kind of level of gears, but again, you know, once you get a bad roll on it is trash now. So a big disappointment for, you know, being this stage that took you, I don't know, like a year or maybe a whole month to beat, only to get the gear and this, you know, bad roll, game is over. That's not even. The reward doesn't end at, you know, just getting the gear piece. The reward ends of you either crying out of despair because of the bad roll, or actually, you know, happiness because you got a good roll on it. I honestly think it would be more rewarding if those gears give you a set end stats, like a balanced set end stats, instead of, you know, not too offensive but not too defensive. Just, you know, balance. A set balance of substat. Like, one example I can use is one of the speed gear speed gear is how, like, I think the maximum speed you can get on it is like 16 or something. No, the maximum speed you can get on it is like 21 or something, and that's only if you get super lucky and it goes all the way to speed 20 and stuff. But I think like the moderate amount of speed it can get, like the balance speed, is like 12 or something. So you can just have like 12 speed with like 12 critical chance, 12 critical damage, and 12% attack. And just the balanced amount of stats. I think that's good enough already. So again, the reward of the thing is not. I mean, especially with gears in this abyss, is not getting the gear. It's literally rolling onto it, and again, you're crying at that point to your luck. And another thing is, I honestly don't think most of the reward in Abyss is actually really good, to be honest. Not enough, to be exact. One of them is giving you one meteor slate. And, dude, I feel like they should have given you like 4 or 5 or something, at least something to make get a character to max imprint or something, because that would be really rewarding. You can't say that's broken and stuff, because break PvP stuff, so you can put them all on the Arbiter Vildred and you get a max imprint, give them a fragment to get to increase it so that he can do more damage, more output damage. But at the same time, there are some units again that can counter that Arbiter Vildred, like Milan from Lorraine Carson, like her. She just send you extinction, does like the maximum and the most damage, and faster than RB in general. Maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of characters. I mean, again, you can still beat these power creep, because there is actually a counter in the game that the dev put in that just supposed to counter that one character, but instead it just counters everything that's related to that ability, like revive, like Sinful Angelica. I've seen a 325 speed Angelica, and that's gears alone, and that's faster than like my Ran, who has both maximum imprint of speed boost from Sid and also Chanel. I don't know how to say his name, but he gives the back row 14 speed, and my Ran has 295 speed. So I'm essentially having 300 plus speed, or rather 319 speed. And the reason why I know the Sinful Angelica had 325 speed or more is because I actually had a Watcher Shuri in the thing too, and I barely outspeed a Sinful Angelica in the fight, because they have a big brain to ban RB, but since I didn't ban Sinful Angelica, it was still there, so I could tell. I mean, again, gears is what's important to make heroes better than other heroes, even if they are a power creep. But again, then like Balin, I don't know how to say her name, but one way to kill her is get a single DPS focus or something like that, strip her immunity, and then I think Landy works, since Landy make sure they can't counter attack, so that's a thing. And all you have to do is just strip her and all that stuff. There's all the way to kill a person, I guess you could say. And another thing that this game mode, the best game mode in the game for us to get the best set of gears. I mean, again, like any gears that you get, free gears, like free low level gears or free high level gears, are not really good because, well, I mean, just the end stat issue. But that's about it. The initial stat is good, decent stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just the end stat that everyone's looking forward to and cry about. But yeah, this game mode was the best update you could get in this game because of how much gear, the high level gear you can actually get. But at the same time, it comes out like once every 3 to 4 months. Like, why does it take so long? Why can't you just loop the whole game, like that game mode, like Labyrinth or something like that, like Raid, Hell Raid or whatever like that. Like that's a clean way to make it work. Not only that, you get ruins. You can get the freaking runes artifact to max out your artifact. Another important part of the gameplay structure and flow, because the higher artifact level, upgraded, you can do more damage with it and do all kind of useful thing with it. But beside actually buying a lot of it from guild shop, that you can only make a certain amount of gold in the guild shop and stuff. But in this mode, you do all you can exploring all that stuff. You can get a lot of the currency just to buy the rune artifact. But come on, like you had really good cards to play, but you still screw up a lot of the content, man. And you're holding back on the content, which is not really good. And I think that's why some of that's why your player base is going down. I mean, this is a fact, because there's a lot of people talking about this kind of stuff, these kind of content that you make, but then you hold back and you don't come out of it for some time. But by that time, they're already done with the game, because how long it takes, and you already deprive them of, I guess you could say, resource enough. It's almost like an analogy to use is you deprive them of water, and you can offer as much water here after you deprive them of water. By that point, they're already left for something else. So yeah, come on, bring this mode back. Just put it on loop, like Raid or something like that. Not Hell Raid. Don't make it once a month kind of stuff. Like it resets after, like, you can have it reset after a month, but that means you have to put a lot of like the other set gears, which I think would be a good idea. Which it would actually be a good idea. I mean, you get me on your team and stuff. I can literally make other content, give you have you expand your content and all that stuff, and I can literally, like, we have a lot of ideas, especially communities, and have specific ideas, but I don't like to post about it in your community thing, because it's a democracy where you can get a lot of people just upping your 15 res over me asking you, can you give me more special change units? Because I think some of the 3-star units are actually pretty good and pretty decent with their own abilities, but you left them for dead, or we wait maybe another year for you to get half of a year or something like that, just for you to special change a unit. Like, seriously, come on. Another thing, in this update, the Awakening update, they gave us the Molagora challenge and also the Hunt Expert challenge. I've got to be honest, this is trash. Like, the challenge itself is trash. Like, why do we have to do 100 expedition for Molagoras? I feel like there is like a really, really weird curve going on here, that it's a difficulty curve and also like grinding curve. Like, dude, it's why 100? Like, just make us do like 40 or 20 or something like that, or something. That would be good enough as a maximum, and just give us more growth. This, I'm pretty sure, I think somewhere in the line, this update, especially the Molagora challenge and the Hunt challenge, was supposed to help players of all kind, of new and veteran players, by making it so that you give us resources for completing this challenge. But you made it absurdly grindy, so much so that like other content you already have, that we have to grind for. We also have to hold out grinding to grind this grind, so we can grind some more. You're stacking papers on papers without an actual, paperweight. It's blowing away, man. These stuff. You should also just, especially with the hunt challenge, is that they're supposed to help you. You're giving us a free 5-star to help us do hunt faster, but we have to grind adventure mode to get the resources and aka beat the requirement to get a free 5 stars, only to go back to choosing between grinding hunt, which the hunt challenge is supposed to focus on, to grinding adventure mode way more than hunt, because we have to, and also spirit, to awaken a unit and also promote the unit. And then, even though you can do hunt first and clear all the hunt challenge in the hunt expert challenge to get the, you can just ignore the spirit altar thing, but you would grind more in adventure mode in the hunt expert challenge mode in the event to upgrade a 5-star, which is a really dumb idea, to be honest. It shouldn't even called expert hunt. It should literally called freaking adventure mode 2 hunt or something like that. I can't think of a title for it, but again, you're grinding adventure mode. You're not grinding hunt, because again, you have to use your AP to get epic catalyst. Not only that, you have to promote units. You have to awaken a unit. I mean, doing all the hunt challenge first, you get the spirit stone or whatever to awaken a unit. But you also have to promote them, and you have to use a lot of energy, unless you're already grinding something else to use a lot of energy, and to promote all these stuff. I'm having a burnout. I'm tired of this kind of setup. It's honestly really stupid. I feel like this is something to help players, but again, it's not helping play. You're just stretching it out unnecessarily and making it more, stupid, I guess. I honestly don't have a word for it. I feel like you need someone else to help you with how to make this a linear gameplay. You're just driving off a cliff at this point, to be honest. So much in that, I'm not sure if anyone's alive at this point. And one last thing, it would be the guild buff, or rather account buff or something like that. Give us more of it. I mean, you're not giving us event buff on a weekly basis or something like that. I mean, at least freaking give us more of it. I mean, being in a guild, it's supposed to help you, improve your grind, but 10%, man, again, it's not that much. We drink it down like water, honestly. So make it at least 40 or something. If you're gonna make us grind for 24/7, I mean, that's really how the game is. I mean, it's not fun. It's not fun. I mean, not only that, it doesn't feel as much, to be honest. I mean, it does help us improve a little bit on, some gold and stuff, but unless we really decided to stack gold on gold buffs, especially on an event where we also buy the gold buffs and stuff from the store of Skystone, that's when, we really make it rain, and you gotta stack a lot to make a lot. And again, it's really little. You should just the first thing you should have done is improve this. I mean, this is old thing that you should have done some time. I mean, I'm not sure about the healing buff and stuff, because I mean, when you get far into the game, you don't need that. But I'm not against removing it. I'm also not against keeping it in the game, but you know, if it's important to keep it in the game, then you can keep it. But you know, also, or rather, you can have it as an automatically buff to, you know, that we don't have to pay the guild coin gold to buy a healing buff. You should just make it like a guild automatically thing, because again, a guild is supposed to help you in any way possible, but you get the minimum amount from it. I mean, I would like to talk about the guild war reward, because I think honestly it sucks a lot with of how depending on how, I don't know, what your guild rank is, you get the minimum of it, and then not only that, you get your effort into fighting your enemy, and, you know, you get even it's supposed to be determining how much you get, and you can I have played Guild War to the point where I won 3 matches successfully against a really strong opponent with, you know, like a really fast and a really tanky ML Robbie, and you know, a really high DPS and fast RB, where, you know, I know they're fast, but my guildmate told me, and I just tanked their whole entire thing as best as I can, you know, against high skill players. Matchmaking in the game, I don't think it's actually good, to be honest, because, you know, but anyway, I mean, we can leave all that for something else, but still, again, I get like, what, after I finished defeating all those like players and all that stuff in Guild War, I only get like 29 mystic medals out of 3 victories. And not only that, you have to actually win a defense to get additional medals. And if other players just see, if you just have an RB on defense, or any meta units or any other units that people, you know, think that, you know, or think that they have stand no chance and don't attack you, you don't get any more mystic medal at all. It's really short. I want to say shortage of actually getting mystic medal, which is, you know, with all the power creep in the ML pool for the mystic summons, and you deprive people of that. You know, a lot of these things start making me think you're trying to monetize the game as much as possible, and, you know, where you just create a problem and try to sell us a solution. So yeah, you could improve people's earnings for mystic medal in Guild Wars. And yeah, I think that's all the rambling, and also a solution I can provide in each, you know, stationary of the video, and especially with I guess a flow of the gameplay. Again, I think this game is really good, and it has really high potential, to be honest, to be good again. I mean, to improve a lot, but it's not really turning out that good anymore, because after playing it for 3 years straight, after, you know, its release in 2018, I started in 2019, it's starting to go downhill, and I stuck with the game because I actually believe in the words of, you know, improving the gameplay and all that stuff, but those are just words. I mean, they improved it a little bit, but they didn't actually improve all of the main issue that needs to be improved. Again, they're just sprinkling their sprinkles on a really hollow cake. There's nothing inside of it. It's, you know, it's not really fulfilling. So yeah, that's all the issues that I can address. And if I were to address all the issue, I mean, this video can go on, but I'm just addressing the main issue I see as the issue right now. And, you know, I talked about some solutions in this that could be solved really easily with like, you know, easy tweak. But, you know, if I'm not sure if, because, you know, talking about these issues have me burn out a little bit while making this video. So I think, you know, I'm just going insane, you know, having some insanity where I just repeat myself, not knowing what I'm talking about anymore. But yeah, I hope Smilegate or whatever wanted to see this video, and you know, show show it to their development team or something like that. I don't know, like other people, to, and talk about it and actually address these issues, and take my suggestion, or even actually look into the community Discord suggestion, because a lot of them have really good suggestions, but you have an upvote system that takes the top suggestion of the week, but I rarely actually seen some of them actually fulfill. Some of them actually made good point on how to fulfill it, and not a lot of things to backfire, but it's not coming in at all. I mean, I don't post on the Discord because I know no matter how much I post, I won't get looked at least for maybe, I don't know, 5 more years if this game still exists. I'm not sure if it will, because of how it's going. It's driving off the cliff. I don't want to be in the car when it does that. And not only that, I don't want to be the one who, actually no, I might want to be the guy who, be in the car as it drives off the cliff, but, I'll already be, yelling that at their ears, saying, you're driving off the cliff, but, you can still take it. I mean, it's my opinion, but a suggestion, but if you don't want to listen, you don't want to listen. But I mean, just saying. I've watched and played a lot of these gacha games before, and these are one of the many ways that it will die. These games will be, die, or rather cancel because of this kind of issues, because they don't listen. I mean, they do listen, but again, not really actually do anything about it. Again, so yeah, I guess. Jesus Christ, I'm so tired of just airing out how much issues and talking about it for this game. No wonder people quit, but I might have played a lot of gacha over the years I spent alongside playing with Epic 7, but honestly, like, at least I made actual progress with all those games to actually get to, I guess, quote unquote, like games. How most the guy would describe what a game is. I mean, it's kind of vague, to be honest, what late game is, but to a certain extent. But again, I think Epic 7 is a good game. It's unique and it stands out with, especially with the animation. It has the most beautiful, like, awesome animation with skill 3 and all that stuff. But the only thing that's holding it back is the actual game itself, the game mechanics, especially of what the devs or the company or whatever, making it or monetizing or whatever. I don't know. Trying to make the game really unplayable, almost like you're not playing the game is playing you. Having you do all the things continuously. I mean, the only thing I can think of is have you ever heard of the definition of insanity? But again, I think Epic 7 has potential, and it's a really good game, but a lot of ideas are suggested to how to fix these issues, but there hasn't been actually any progress with these kind of fixes on these issues. And I don't think you should you guys, the actual dev, game company, or even the developer should actually hold back and go like, we're gonna fix this issue, but it's gonna be on the next update. Like, that's a really tight rope you're making us walk. Really tight rope. I see many games have done that, and it was literally a matter of time before they got shut down because of that. And that kind of management is not really good in any business. I mean, again, it's quality over your quantity of monetizing the game. I'm just a guy with too much time on my hand. I play a lot of games, and I've seen a lot of games that falls and rise. And if you want me to give you an example, Chain Chronicle, it was a good game that was ported to NA, and I was really excited about the game because in the Japanese version there was a lot of collab with other stuff too, and in NA it didn't even reach even like a single collab, I believe, in that game, that to the point where it just shuts down after not even like it has a 3-year lifespan. That's what Epic 7 is coming up to now, and I believe that within almost close to 3 years, Epic 7 can be shut down because of this. So yeah, like you can think of this as like almost like a foreshadowing of of what's gonna happen to the game. But so yeah, if you want, you can also contact me and put me on, I guess, your team on how to improve it and stuff. I mean, that's only if you actually will listen. I mean, I play enough games, I see enough, and actually study business enough to know, and actual life to know that, it's lip service. It's not gonna work. I understand how games are developed and all that stuff. I myself am also, a programmer and stuff, but I'm not that tech savvy to design this whole game. I'm not that kind of person, but I know the flow of it, and I play many other games beside on my phone, and I've seen some stuff, like you said, like games that rise and fall. That's like how other people have. So yeah, if you want Smilegate or whatever, you can contact me, and maybe, I don't know, have me on your team or something, talk how to make your game better, I guess you can say, some actual improvement. I mean, I had a thing that I also want to talk is the hero adjustment. With I think the most important hero adjustment is is that their stats. I think if you can give them mostly old heroes exclusive artifact, they'll be good. I'm still having some copium on the ML Silk change, because that was not necessary. You kill Silk there, man. It hurts, ML Silk. But again, a lot of things that I could also talk about, but I think these are the most important things that should be talked about, and that you should see a video on me addressing the video as one of your players of this game. And and then again, I think it wouldn't be good if you just roll out these one update as like a reamp update like you did with other updates. I think it's best if you actually have these updates come up as regular update, as you do for like every Thursday and stuff, with events and stuff. I think that's a good thing. But again, it's all up to you guys how you want to do it, how you want your game to last, how long you guys want the game to last. And coming from someone who's a player of the game for 3 years straight, who really didn't really pay attention to the actual drama surrounding the game, to be honest, until I had to, when I was making this video, I had to look up if there's actually any drama in this game or any other issue. But I found a lot, but I'm giving Epic 7 the benefit of the doubts instead. So yeah, I think that's all.